Hey Carol, nice to see you tonight and see your name pop up in the comment box. That was really nice. Thank you so much. We'll give a couple more seconds and then we're going to get started. Last Friday, I went almost 2 hours. That was crazy once I saw the time. So I'm going to just make this one a little bit shorter maybe. I don't know. We're going to heat emboss tonight, so that could be a little more to our card, but we'll give it a try. It's been a heck of a week here. Lots of things going on, not only just a real busy week getting ready for the holidays with the Parks and Rec department. Last night we went out and judged only 20 homes this year. This is really weird. Last year we had 65 and this year we only had 20. And I think it's because of people are more out and about than they were a year ago. And it wasn't 10 degrees. It was like 50 degrees last night when we were doing this. So a big, huge difference. And I don't know. We'll just get started. I hear my husband outside my door. Anyway, let's see who is on. All these familiar names, which is awesome. Okay, so if you are in my card club, and I see quite a few of you on that are in my card club, this is a stamp set that I'm going to be using next month. So I'm giving you a sneak peek at it. Plus the designer series paper will be this one as well. I'm taking a chance on January 4th. I'm gonna order a boatload of this based on what my numbers for Card Club are at the this month, which is around 22. And I was looking to grow that. So if you want to belong to Card Club, I suggest that you register. You can actually still register for the one this month. What is the day today? Today is what? I don't even remember. The 17th. So only 3 more days. I'm going to send out my reminder after I get through the live tonight. If I don't pass out, I'm so tired, you guys. But anyway, so that's going to be sent out. So I'll have to cut it off once I have this designer series paper. No doubt it's probably going to go on back order, like a lot of that designer series paper. So I'm also doing a paper share. So that is going to be ending pretty soon too. So if you don't know the dates, make sure you belong to my email list, because that's where you get all the information. And you can do that by just filling out that pop-up on my website, inspiredbygram.com. So we're going to get started making this really cute card. Now, I know it's probably really hard for you guys to see this, but I wanted to, so I'm going to give a shout out, because when I start using a new stamp set, sometimes, especially if it's one like this, this one was the most popular one that was picked last week when I showcased all of the new product from the mini catalog. I know it's really hard. It's glaring. Sorry about that. So I'm going with this one for January based on your direction and your kind of comments about what would you buy for a stamp set out of the ones that I purchased on the pre-order. So this is the one that was picked. So we're going to go with that one because it was the most popular. And I love getting input from my customers. So this one is a bundle. It is just over $50. I think it's $51.50. I cannot show you the catalog, but I believe most of you probably already have the catalog. And once January hits, I can show it to you. But let me just tell you that you can buy the whole suite collection. That price is at $155.75. And you would get a lot of free celebration product. But if you're just looking to order the stamp set and the dies, it's called the Blessings of Home Bundle. And item number is 157939. Again, that's 157939. And the bundled price is $51.25. So being $50 or more, you're going to receive one free item from Celebration. So this suite is huge. And this suite I received, it was part of my On Stage at Home pre-order that I got to order ahead of time to be stamping with what they were doing for On Stage. So we're going to do this a little differently tonight because we're going to stamp in fresh Freesia and use clear embossing powder to see if it's going to be a big change. This is all in silver. I really don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to bring it so close to the camera. But I did heat emboss the sentiment with silver as well. And this is heat embossed on our cardstock vellum, our vellum cardstock. So I think you might be able to see it or not. I'm not sure, but and then I cut out some foliage. I'm going to do all the die cutting tonight because I was running behind. Did a little Christmas shopping after work today, and I'm just wanted to sit down and relax. So we're going to die cut with a mini cut and emboss. That might be something you want on your Christmas list. It's not too late to get that. And then here is the embossed flower on the inside, all in silver. Okay, so the dies are all here. I can't remember how many there are in the package, and I don't even know where I put it. Let's see. Does it say? I'm looking real quick. Sorry. Oh, wait. No, I'll find it. It's on my desk. When I come across it, I'll find it. So we are going to be using quite a few of these dies. We're going to use this one to cut out the embossed flowers. And then we're going to use a bunch of the foliage here in garden green. I have not die cut with any of these other ones yet, but I will. I'm going to play with this one this weekend. So I do plan on going Facebook Live on Monday. And that will be at 7:30 Eastern time on Monday. So you'll get 2 of me every week now. So we will be showcasing this one again on Monday, and I'll have a few more card designs for you. So the other die we're going to be using tonight is the Stitch So Sweetly, and it's the second smallest stitched rectangle, scallop rectangle. So we'll be using that one. I've got my clear embossing powder already. I mean, I've had this forever. I just store it in one of our Dollar Tree little bins here with a spoon. And here is the dies. They're called Flowers of Home dies. And so you save 10% when ordering the bundle. So make sure you order a bundle to save that 10%. Now, if you don't know, Stampin' Up! Did change our embossing powders. So they are now, if you want to turn your catalog to page 128, this is the annual one. And it shows you here all of the kind of the embossing tools and powders. So they come in black, or basics, which are called black, clear, and white. We're going to be using clear. And there's also metallics, and they come in copper, gold, and silver. So they sell them as a 3-pack, and they're $18. So another thing that you could add to your order for celebration come January. All right. So, or if you're a customer of mine, you would have gotten a little coupon in your Christmas card. You should have those already. And I'm offering you 20%. I'm giving you 20% of my demonstrator discount as a thank you. I always do that in December for a very short time. So you guys all have that information. So hopefully you have already picked out what you want to order. I already have 2 orders ready to go. So then here's Fresh Freesia. I do have my Embossing Buddy, which you cannot order from Stampin' Up! Anymore, but you can find these throughout, of course, the Amazon world. I'm going to use Versamark stamp. This is the Versamark ink. Then we have this, it's called the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, and it comes in 4 different colors. We're going to use that grayish color. I think it's the gray granite. And then we got something new, you guys. These are called the Classic Matte Dots. These are available in the mini catalog come January. There's 4 different colors. You got your basic black, basic gray, like a vanilla, and a white. So kind of a nice, I've never seen a combo pack like this, and a matte finish. So these are really nice. They're small, they're delicate, and I pretty sure postman will be okay with these going through the mail. So another item we're using tonight that's new. The designer series paper. I showed all that designer series paper last week, but we'll go over it tonight. I've cut into one sheet, so it's kind of bits and pieces, but we'll be showing that one tonight. So the cardstock that goes with the designer series paper, we've got Misty Moonlight, we've got Basic White, we have Pale Papaya, Garden Green, Cinnamon Cider, and Basic Gray. So if you kind of put these all together, you can kind of see your palette. This is what I do when I create. I look at the designer series paper, and then I, oh, the fresh Freesia too, which I don't have here, but let me just grab it from my kit. I want to get white last. This is in no particular order, you guys. So these are all the colors that are in the designer series paper here. Again, we've got Basic Gray, Cinnamon Cider, Garden Green, Pale Papaya, Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, and your white, okay? Typical colors that I don't use a lot, but it's in the beautiful paper. And so let's take a look at the beautiful paper, what we have on my work surface here. This is called, we'll turn it over here. It's called Heart and Home Designer Series Paper. And under here in a tiny font of like size maybe 4 or 5, lists all of the cardstock colors and that go, and the inks that go with this paper. So we'll kind of quickly go through it. You can see I've kind of got some bits and pieces here. So here's one. I've already used quite a bit of that. And then this is the one I'm going to be using. And then here's your Cinnamon Cider with the bees. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer because I think that's really hard to see. There we go. Is that better for you guys? I'm totally not looking at the comments because I'm really trying to focus on this. All right. And then on the back sides, they're all like wood grains, but in wood grains in whites and grays, which is kind of different. I do like that. And then here's some more little flowers with that garden green. So we're just going to keep flipping through, and you can see that's the sheet we're going to be using. And then on this side here is a beautiful blues, some more of that wood grain. This one we're going to be using in the card today. And then here's your garden green foliage with the white and gray boards there. So I just flip this all back over so I can kind of keep it organized and out of the way. Okay, so that is the cardstock. I mean the designer series paper. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna do some heat embossing, and again, I said I was gonna do the Pale Papaya color. If it really doesn't work, then I'll go and do some silver. So I'm just going to see all my little pieces here. Let me grab my white. I need to get a scrap of white. Okay, so when I heat embossing was the first thing I ever learned when I stamped. It's more of a technical thing. And people are definitely nervous about heat embossing. Some people are. They think they're just kind of messing it up. But this was the first thing I learned at a home party. And it hooked me to stamping. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I had no supplies. So that's kind of how I started with Stampin' Up. I was a customer that just kind of grew into stamping. So I just used my embossing buddy on the vellum cardstock and the white cardstock. I actually need to use it on the inside panel too. So let me just find that panel, which is right here. I have a stack of these whites ready to go. And then we're gonna kind of put this in here. Now this thing has got a hole in it. And you can see that cornstarch is all over. So I'm just gonna flick this off. Now the embossing buddy kind of removes that static electricity, fingerprints, that type of thing. And it's too bad we don't still carry that, but I know you can find them elsewhere. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to experiment with this white first. So what I want to do is I'm going to find my sentiment that's way over there. I'm going to get, and then I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I like to take, when I'm using small ink pads like this, I always take, no matter the size stamp, I always take the Versamark ink pad to the red rubber because I feel like I have more control on the stamp and the ink. Now Versamark ink is a clear ink, it's sticky. So now I just added the Versamark there. Now I'm going to take my fresh Freesia and I'm going to turn this over here, and I'm going to add the ink there, and then I'm going to just stamp down on that piece of white. Okay, and then this is going to be embossed. So I'm going to actually emboss this right now with my heat tool. I'm going to use a Stampin' Up! Heat tool, and this is going to make it raised up and shiny. It just takes a few seconds to get your heat tool hot enough. But once it gets hot, oh shoot, oh my God, take two. I forgot the clear embossing powder. I was like, why wasn't that working? Let's start over. Oh Lord, okay. Let's take that embossing buddy one more time, take two. And we are going to clean that stamp because we've got ink on it. I got one step ahead of myself, and there you go. Okay, so let me just clean that off because we don't want to contaminate. See, we all kind of make mistakes. Someone called me a professional on my live last week. Maybe you're on here. I'm not really sure. But she called me a professional. I've never been called a professional before. I thought that was very nice. But see, we all make mistakes. So, all right. I got the Versamark on the red rubber. Now I'm going to ink up with the fresh Freesia, and we're just going to stamp down here. Now I'm going to move those away because we don't want the embossing powder in any of our inks, right? So now I'm going to take that clear embossing powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle it all over. Tap it off. I like to tap on the back side too. And now it kind of dulls it a little bit. So now we're going to put that way over there because I don't want it to go everywhere. Now I'm going to take the heat tool and I'm going to heat this powder up so it kind of gets shiny and raised. And hopefully it looks really good. It's going to get darker. There we go. I can see it and you probably can't. And I'm sorry about that. Trying to bring it to the camera as close as I can. And my new phone, I'm still trying to get used to it. Okay. All right, so it's super hot right now. I'm going to try to figure out where my camera is. There we go. I got all kinds of shadows here. But it is very raised up, shiny, and not so much where we can get through anything. But together is definitely shiny. Thank you, Carol, for letting me know you can see it. So now we're going to do the same thing with the vellum. And we're going to use the flower this time. So let's take the Versamark ink. Now this is going to be different from my original card. This is where I'm going to try the fresh Freesia with the clear embossing powder instead of the silver there. Okay, so now we've got that. And now I'm going to take my pretty flower, ink it up in fresh Freesia, and we're going to die cut this one out. So when you are putting the stamp on the vellum cardstock, you put it down, and now you've got to be really careful not to shift, because it's kind of slippery, that ink on the vellum. So you want to be really careful pressing down. You don't want to press down too hard, and you don't want to rock your block. So I kind of put, when I do it, a big stamp like that, I put my whole hand down on top of it with my other one on here. That way it's even pressure. And then I'm going to pull it straight up. Now let's take a look at this first before I decide. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I want to see what this looks like, because why not? So again, I'm going to take the clear embossing powder, and I'm just sprinkled it on here, and it dulled it out. I just want to make sure I've got enough up here. So we're just going to take that spoon and then tap it from the back side. I don't see any on the around the edges, and it really doesn't matter because we're going to die cut this one out. I'm going to put this one aside because the vellum cardstock really doesn't take too long to melt. So we're going to just clean this stamp again with my Stampin' scrub, and we're going to prep this white panel here and get this one ready to go too, so then I can heat emboss them at the same time. It'll be easier, or one after the other actually. All right, so you're going to see me do this a third time. So I'm taking the Versamark ink here, and then I'm going to take the fresh Freesia, and this is a bigger stamp, so I'm just going to take the stamp, or the ink pad, to the stamp. And now we're going to stamp this right on that white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm making sure that that stem is all the way down here, and we're going to see what this looks like on white. Okay, not too bad. That's really pretty, actually. I mean, it's just, when I was stamping, I was wondering what it would look like, because the stem is really not supposed to be purplish. It should be green, right? But I think it really looks pretty. And we're looking for an embossed image anyway, so we're going to just go for it. I think it's really beautiful. Now, our clear embossing powder needs to be added to those two pieces. Or this one, actually. No, both of them, actually. All right. So that one's not good yet. Let me get down here. You can really tell with the clear embossing powder, because your image will look really matted. Just like those dots that we're going to be using. So now we're going to take, I think I already did this step. My brain is fried, so we're just going to do it one more time. Yes, I know I did that already. Okay, we are done with embossing powder. We're going to close this one up so it doesn't spill all over. And we're going to, one more time, heat this up and make some magic. Okay, so when you're heat embossing, if you've never experienced heat embossing, you should really give it a try, because it's really fun. It's so much fun. But you've got to be careful that you don't scorch your paper and leave burn marks, because this is really, really hot, and you've got to be careful you're not going to burn yourself either. So I'm just moving the heat tool back and forth, kind of keeping it going all the time until I see that that whole image is heat embossed. You can also come from the back side and heat it this way. I tend to just heat it from one side, but there's multiple ways you can do this. Okay, I think that looks good. Now we're going to take the vellum cardstock, and we're going to heat emboss this one too. This one you may see a little bit better than the white. I'm not really sure. There's lots of detail in this flower, so it's taking a little bit longer than normal. But I do want to make sure I have it all heat embossed so I don't lose that image. Okay, so let me go back to this one, and I kind of just rub my finger on it. It's good. That's good. And then this one, that one looks pretty good too. So I'm going to close up that Versamark ink. Now we need to do a little bit of die cutting. So let's grab the mini cut and emboss. What's really good about this die set here is it will fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. So if you don't want to invest in the bigger one and you want a little bit more inexpensive machine, then your mini cut and emboss is great for you. It just sits on my desk over in the corner. You saw me grab it. It sits there all the time. But when I use the mini cut and emboss, I don't use the white plate, number 1. I use number 3. And then I use number 2. And the reason is because it when it goes in the machine, it catches a lot easier. So let's grab this one. Now there's excess vellum here. So what I'm going to do is, I know this is waste and I don't like waste, but I'm just using a bigger piece just because I'm doing a video. Normally I would not waste this much, you guys, you know me. I use just about every little piece. But for video's sake, we're doing this. Now I'm going to grab the die over here that seems to not want to come off that table. And now we're going to add this die right over top. And I think I might have to go grab some, oh, I don't have any washi tape up here. It's, oh yes, I do. I see it. Hold on. I got some really old Stampin' Up! Hearts. Like this I bought probably 10 years ago, maybe. All right, so I'm just going to grab a little tiny piece because this is, when you're die cutting vellum, it is definitely a, it's much easier to shift on you. So I'm just going to grab that. I think that's good. So I've got the gray plate. I got the acrylic plate. I got the vellum. I got the die. I got the washi tape and another clear plate, which is number 2. These are brand new, spanking new. Like I just took them out of the package last night. So they even crack. Okay, so I'm going to look at comments after I get through this die cutting for you. All right, so now here is the one that I just die cut there. It's totally not great, but I went a little bit too far to the left, but you kind of get the process. Now let's die cut the sentiment here. I'm going to go at an angle. We're going to use that Stitch So Sweetly, second to the smallest rectangle. It fits perfect on here. Again, you can use your washi tape if you feel like you need to. I'm just going to add it to the corner there. And then we're going to add number 2. And then all you have to do is just like push it in there and see how easy it is with that gray plate. That white plate is just seems to, I struggle with it, but I learned this from a another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Canada. She gave us that tip, and boy, she's right. All right, so there's our sentiment. And we're going to just, oh wait, I got my foliage I need to die cut. So when I die cut the garden green, which is right here, I just randomly took some of these dies that I just wanted to die cut. So since I've got a big piece here, we're just going to put all the ones on here that resemble foliage, just so you can see them. And I really want to look, I want to see what this one looks like. I haven't even die cut that one. So let's see. what that one looks like. See how many dies you can put on the mini cut and emboss, you guys? Look at this. And here's another one. And we can put a little flower, and we can put this one. Oh, can we get this one on here too? Let's try. I'm all for it. Let's go this way. I think we got it. All of these fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can die cut all 9 in one pass. And then here is number 2. The only thing is that, hold on. That one on the edge there was just a little bit too close. So we are going to just move these ever so slightly up. And then, got one in my hand here. There we go. That way, it was just too far down here. And that one. And it would not probably have cut all the way. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Okay, there's a lot more tension with that many on there. So let's see what we get. It's not cracking, which is really strange. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh yeah, it all worked. Okay. I needed one of those little magnetic bowls so I can put all these little dies in there so I don't lose them. Okay, so we just cut through. Oh shoot, you guys. Oh, maybe. Oh, I should have went backwards. Darn it. Well, you can tell this is Friday. I should have went all the way backwards. Now I can't do that anymore because I would never be able to line these up 100%. But just a thought, up and back, and that would have been better. I think it's because I have some new plates in there. So I'm going to try to salvage what I can from this. Or I just die cut some more. And that's what I'm going to do. So let me grab. I will only die cut the ones that I want. And you guys are worth it. I want to show you guys some good product here. And when Karen goofs up, then I don't like that. So I'm going to just rewind and try one more time. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 passes. I think I just had way too many of those dies on there. I guess I can't do that. So I'm going to grab this one. And let's see. This one here. We'll just do 3. Okay. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Okay. And I'm going to go backwards. So I felt that release. And then we're going to come back all the way. And hopefully this time, yeah, I can tell. It worked this time. Okay. I don't think I lost anybody. Okay, so there we go. There's our foliage that we want for our cards. So just be careful. Okay. So now what we need to do is assemble the card because everything is ready to go. And I got embossing powder on this grid paper. I don't like that, but we'll work with that. So here's the fresh Freesia. Here's our card base, and it's cut 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it in half, so you can get 2 cards out of one sheet of the 8 1/2 by 11. Then we have another piece of the fresh Freesia, and this is cut 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And this one is going to be, let me just grab it. This is the one that's going to be put down on the card front. However, we need to put our designer series paper on top of this one first. And that's what we're going to do next. So we have a few pieces here. And these are cut 1 7/8 by 2 7/8, and you need 2 of them. Okay, two nice coordinating designs. And then you also need, this one is 1 7/8 by 2. So we are going to add these and just figure out which patterns you want. Sometimes this is a non-directional pattern of paper, but sometimes it can be a little directional. So make sure you kind of get this laid out the way you want it. So we're doing opposites. Okay, so I'm just going to place these down first just to get an idea of what I'm kind of looking for here. And we're going to go opposites, like I said, and we're going to put one down here. And this is really, really tiny borders there. So that's what it's going to look like. And I highly suggest when you use or add these down that you use multi-purpose liquid glue, because there's it's like a 1/16 of an inch, just enough of that fresh freesia coming through that you can see. So here we go. It's not 1/8 of an inch. It's like almost a 1/16 of an inch, just a little hairline. And then here's this one. Now, if you wanted, you could definitely make these a little bit smaller so you see more of the fresh freesia. But I just like that really small hairline that you see through. Okay, and then we have those two on. You can kind of see what I was talking about. It's about a 1/16 of an inch, not very, very big. And then this one here, we'll just add our glue and then do the same thing. We're adding it right down at the bottom. So I'm looking at this side here along with the bottom as well, just for that hairline. And then here's this one, same thing, same process. And before I put this down, I'm going to look at the flowers. We're going to see more of this one. So, so do you want it this way? Because your sentiment is going to be kind of in that area. I like this one, so I'm going to flip it over. And we're going to go that direction. Again, a 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so let me just move that. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. This gets popped up because you want to give it that dimension. So we'll just take some Stampin' dimensionals that I have over here. Just bits and pieces. I went through all my Park and Rec tool boxes that I give my people to use, because it's an all-inclusive card class once a month, and they get use of all my products. So I have a little toolbox. They have scissors, dimensionals, adhesive, glue dots, bone folders, everything that they need to make their cards. And I usually, at the end of the class, I take all the Stampin' dimensionals that have all the bits and pieces, and I keep those, and I give my customers a half sheet that they can use. So it's so much easier. Okay, let's grab that card base, and we're going to make sure that that card is opening. The way things are going tonight, we don't want to make this upside down. So I'm just going to take this panel and put it right on top of that fresh freesia. And the reason why I always do 1/8 of an inch, because I like that extra width on the card base versus that panel coming up. I think that's my personal choice and my designing. A lot of people will go 4 by 5 1/4, and I tend to go 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, just because it just gives a little bit more of that card base shown. And when you're using designer series paper, my card club members are generally cutting all the time 3 3/4 by 5. It's easy for them to remember. So we're getting there, you guys, not much further. So we're going to find that fresh freesia vellum that I seem to have lost on my desk. So just bear with me. In the meantime, well, oh, I see it. It's right here. Okay, so this is going to go right here. Oh boy, I don't know. This is going to be hard. To see this card in person is going to be much easier. That's why I'm going to give away 2 of each of these cards so you can kind of see them. Well, whoever wins them will get to see it because it is beautiful. So I'm going to take my adhesive. Now, you're not going to see adhesive through this, so you certainly can use glue dots, Stampin' Seal, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use my glue dots. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to just take them off here. Let me just find them here. And then I'm just going to strategically kind of put them, I think I only used 2. I got one stuck right on my fingernail. I only used 2 because they're super strong and let's not waste. So this is going to put on here kind of at an angle, but you want it to come off too. So just make sure you give a good press there. And if you feel like it's not going to stay down, then all you really need to do is just, let's put one more glue dot on there just to make sure. Just sneak it in under here. And that's going to stay with 3. That's good. And I see how that's flowing up. That's what you want. Then we're just going to kind of put these foliage pieces, kind of figure out where you want them. You can take your sentiment too if you want to put that on first. Sometimes it's easier to do that. So let's do that. Let's put the sentiment on next. And you're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals again. Let me grab my end pieces here real quick. And then we're going to add just 2 of them because it's kind of a small rectangle. You don't need to put 4 on there. 2 is just fine. Now I'm going to cover up this stem here. See, I didn't die cut that very well, but it doesn't matter, right? Only you guys know that I didn't die cut it very well. And I'm just going to put this right over. And if you want, if it's sticking out at the end, let's just trim it off. Doesn't matter. No one's going to know. And then this is going to get put on right here. Now I'm actually adding it about 1/4 of an inch above the base of this little rectangle. Okay, so we'll press that down. Then we're going to take the foliage pieces and we're going to just kind of place them wherever we want to place them, wherever you think it's going to look good. Now there's different sizes that come in the dies, and I think that's going to be, I want to, let's see, let me grab these other 2 that I'm going to be using and just kind of place it. Okay, so that one's going to go there, definitely. And then this little one, now sometimes the dies don't pop these out all the way, but sometimes they look good if you just keep them in. So I'm going to pop one of those out, but I'm going to leave those 2 in. And then this one's probably going to just get stuck somewhere there. And then this one, I'm going to put down here. So let's take our multi-purpose liquid glue and we're just going to add some on the back side of this foliage. You don't need a lot. And then we're going to just slide it under here. You can always cut this off too if you find it's too long. Got it at a nice angle there. Now we're just going to take these 2 back out and add our glue right up the middle. And then we're just going to slide this one underneath. Okay, and then we'll take this other small one. Again, add some glue right down the middle of the stem. And then just kind of figure out where you want it to go. I think I'm going to put it over here. Okay, you can use your Take Your Pick tool to hold it down in place so that that glue does stick. Okay, so now we're going to take our glue and we're going to add it all the way around. This one's going to go inside. This is our inside panel. We're going to compare once we get this all done. Then we're going to get the handy dandy 10-second bow maker. I'm going to take that linen thread. Again, this is the combo pack. I'm going to really try to make a smaller bow than I normally do, because that sentiment panel is on the smaller side and you don't want it like overwhelming the sentiment and focal point. So you just kind of want a dainty bow. And you don't have to put this on, but I think it adds a nice little touch. Actually, I'm going to go one in the middle there. Now, I probably could have free-handed that bow quicker than I'm doing it right now. It's because I just cut it too small, so I don't want to waste. I don't want to have to cut some off, but oh boy, let me just try. No, that's not going to work. So we're just going to take some more, and I'll save that for another project because, you know me, I don't waste. We'll find another use for it, just like my grandmother would say. Don't waste it. She found a use of it. Oh, she would find uses for anything, really. I have this Afghan, this crochet Afghan. It's in my closet. I have not ever taken it out. It's a scrap Afghan. It's single crochet, and it's all of the scraps of her ends of her yarn balls. It is so old. I should try to finish it, because it's really not the colors I would use, but it's a scrap Afghan, and it's someday I'll show it to you. It's like really crazy colors. Okay, so now I've got my bow. I'm going to take my bow to a glue dot, and then we'll pinch it off. Then I'm going to put it sideways, I think, just like I did the other one. Or let me just think. I want to, maybe I'll put this one, oh, that stupid glue dot. Come on. It's messing with my bow. Okay. I'm going to put it over there just to give you guys a different look. Let me grab my scissors here, and we're just going to trim this down. Now, if you want, you can fray your ends of your linen thread by using the pointy piece of the Take Your Pick tool. I don't know if you've ever done this. I'm going to do it on this one just to show you, so they're not so like straight and rough. We're going to give some texture to the linen thread. Just run the sharp piece through it, and then you get this kind of like, almost looks like hair, but see how it's all split? So that kind of looks a lot, I think that looks nicer than leaving it like this one here. So let me just kind of put these side by side. I don't know if you can see it or not. So here's the one I frayed, and then here's the one I left alone. Can you see it? Who knows? I'm not paying attention to my laptop. But we have one final step, you guys, and then we're going to be done. We're going to add those matte, they're called the Classic Matte Dots. Again, these are going to be available in January. They're in the mini catalog. I wish I could show you the mini catalog, but I can't because it's, but you guys all probably have it. Like, I'm sure most of you do. I'm going to use the white dots here and this one. I use the basic, the basic gray color in the first card. So we're going to add the white ones here. And we're going to add 2 down here and then 1 over there to form our triangle. So there we go. Let's check them out. I didn't stamp the envelope here, but I would just stamp it just like the inside of the card there. And I'll do that a little bit later. So we have two cards that are very different. One that has lots of silver here. And then this one is the Fresh Freesia embossed with the clear embossing powder. Let me try to bring these up a little bit closer for you guys. Don't know if you, yeah, I think you can kind of see them a little bit better this way. Okay. And then this one's with the silver embossed on vellum, and then we've got Fresh Freesia embossed on the vellum here. So just a different look. If I look at this, I think I like this silver one better, but I think I would maybe do this one here in the Fresh Freesia embossed. So basically take this tag label and put it over here. Just so this would pop a little bit more, but they both really do look nice. Not really sure what your favorite is. I think definitely you have to see these in person. So if you want to be put in the random drawing, I will draw a name on Monday's Facebook Live, and I will give away to 2 lucky winners. So one of these cards. So well, both of these will be given away, of course, but it'll be a random drawing. So all you really need to do is you need to send me an email, and I will put you in the drawing, and we'll draw the names on Monday at 7:30 Eastern Time on Facebook. Well, it'll be my last thing on Facebook, but my email address is inspiredbygraham@gmail.com. Again, I'll put that in the description box as well. And I will post all the information. I will also give you all the sizes of the paper that I cut. I have them on a little scrap paper over there, just so if you want to design this card, you can design this card with any designer series paper. It does not have to be this paper here, although this is the new paper that's coming right around the corner, not too many days away, and that's why I wanted to showcase it. And again, this will be my paper and stamp choice for January card club. So my card club participants, I know some of you are on here, so this is a sneak peek of the stamp set that we'll be using next month and the dies. So I'm just going to take this time right now to go through the comments just to see if there was any here that I can answer, if you're still on or not. There's quite a few here, which is awesome. I love that. If you would like to share this video, please do. That always helps my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 9,000 subscribers by like July 1st. So we're getting there. So let me see. We've got Carol, Teresa, Carla, all you guys. So far, I've seen, I sent you an email, please read later. Okay, I will do that, Carol. Oh, Oswego. Yeah, I know where Oswego is. I've been there. We played field hockey games in Oswego. Oswego Community College back in the 80s. I would travel over there from Vermont to play, let's see, field hockey. Okay, so my doorbell just rang. My free shipping order just arrived. Woohoo! Nice. We always love free, don't we? Okay, see, Louise is on, Linda, Denise. Let's see. Okay, how long do you wait before heat embossing? Can you do several before? You know, I don't really know. I think you could do definitely several and just give it a whirl. Your heat tool will get hot as you go. So when you heat emboss, you may want to use some crafting tweezers to not have to have your hands on the paper, because it gets hot and you might want to burn yourself. But I think you could do several. I would probably mass produce like 6 at a time, and that's easier. And then let the embossing tool cool down for a couple minutes and then just repeat. That's what I think you can do. So pretty magnetic bowls are great for dies. Needles, nails, and screws. I'm going to look those up because I definitely want one, because these little dies are so easy to lose. And especially when you're die cutting, sometimes you don't realize that this has happened at my in-person classes with my more beginner stampers. The smaller dies seem to end up in the recycle bin for some reason. Let's see. The Freesia color is my favorite color. Yep, I do like it as well. Although I'm hesitant because I love Evening Evergreen too, but it's my second favorite of the in colors. Silver Flower, Vanessa. Each version is pretty. Both. Okay, so it looks like both. All right. Yep. Pam, I'm going to be starting to cut Card Club a little early, hoping to ship by Christmas Eve. I don't want to drive the postal service workers any more crazy than what they are right now, but I want that out the door before Christmas. But Amazon has them. Okay, I will check. I'm going to definitely go on there and check for those magnetic bowls for dies. I might get two of them, one for my craft room here and one to pack up for in-person classes, because that might work a little bit better. But I think that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget about my Designer Series paper share. I'm going to be re-emailing out my card club 3 days before it does expire for December. My paper pumpkin special, that's all on my blog, which is at inspiredbygraham.com. So you guys have a great weekend. In the east, we're going to get some snow. Finally, it looks like we're going to have a white Christmas after 50-degree days. And I was going to hike on Sunday, but probably not if it's like really deep snow, because that's just too hard. I need somebody else to cut the trail for me because that's too hard for Karen. So, all right, you guys have a great night, and I'll catch you on Monday, 7:30.